The legacy of the city, where money, power, and humanity become the story of civilization. Every journey has an ending, but the ending is never just a conclusion. It is a mirror, a way to see everything that came before more clearly. The City of London has been many things throughout this series: a financial powerhouse, a historical artifact, a technological laboratory, a cultural mosaic, a hidden influence, and a global force. But to understand its true legacy, you must look beyond finance, beyond institutions, beyond statistics and markets. You must see the city for what it truly is, a reflection of humanity itself. The story of the city is not just a story of money. It is a story of how humans organize trust, how they build networks, how they navigate ambition, how they balance fear with courage, how they transform risk into opportunity, how they turn imagination into systems that outlive generations. The city is not a machine built of steel and algorithms. It is a living organism built from human choices, shaped by millions of decisions made over hundreds of years. To understand its legacy, imagine the city as a vast tapestry woven from threads of time. Each era adds new colors, new textures, new patterns. The medieval merchants who gathered in crowded markets laid down the first threads of trade and cooperation. The bankers of the 17th and 18th centuries layered the tapestry with trust, contracts, and credit. The industrialists of the Victorian era added railways, telegraphs, insurance, and global networks. The modern era brought skyscrapers, digital systems, and global interconnectedness. The city is not a place that happened. It is a place that was built consciously and continuously. But what makes the city extraordinary is not only its endurance, but the balance it sustains between chaos and control. Every financial crisis reveals how fragile markets are, how quickly trust can erode, how easily stability can vanish. Yet every recovery proves something deeper. The city's ability to rebuild, to absorb shocks, to adapt to new realities, and to emerge stronger each time. This resilience is not accidental. It is the product of centuries of accumulated experience, a form of institutional memory embedded in laws, traditions, and culture. The city's legacy is also one of paradoxes. It is simultaneously ancient and futuristic. It is both local and global. It is both rigid and flexible. It is built on competition, yet sustained by cooperation. It seeks profit, yet depends on trust. It operates at lightning speed, yet moves through time with patience. These paradoxes are not contradictions. They are the source of the city's power. They allow it to evolve without losing itself, to innovate without collapsing, to remain relevant even as the world transforms. But legacy is not only shaped by success. It is also shaped by mistakes. The city carries the weight of crises it helped create. It carries the moral complexity of decisions that prioritize profit over consequence. It carries the burden of inequalities magnified by financial mechanisms. These shadows are part of its history and part of its lesson. Power without accountability becomes fragility. Growth without conscience becomes ruin. The city's legacy is a reminder that influence must be balanced with responsibility. And yet, despite its flaws, the city remains one of humanity's greatest achievements. It is a place where ideas become institutions, where dreams become enterprises, where innovation becomes structure. It is a place where individuals can reshape the world. Through invention, through strategy, through insight. The city's greatest legacy is not its wealth or its buildings. It is the human potential it has unleashed across centuries. Think of the countless people who came to London seeking opportunity. The traders, scholars, entrepreneurs, immigrants, workers, inventors, analysts, and dreamers. They built not only businesses, but families, communities, and futures. They carried the city's influence back to their home countries, spreading its ideas, its practices, its culture of trust. The city's legacy lives not only in London, but in every global financial center that borrowed its models, its laws, its networks, and its vision. The city's influence reaches into every aspect of modern life. It shapes how pensions are funded, how companies grow, how governments manage debt, how currencies stabilize, how trade flows. It shapes technology, politics, culture, and global development. It shapes the world quietly, steadily, relentlessly. The city is not merely a district. It is an idea that has become foundational to functioning of civilization. But the most profound legacy of the city lies not in what it has achieved, but in what it makes possible. The future will bring challenges that no previous generation has faced. Climate disruption, technological upheaval, geopolitical fragmentation, demographic transitions, and existential risks. The city's role in that future will not simply be to manage capital, but to direct it toward solutions, to build systems resilient enough to withstand disruption, to support innovation capable of addressing global problems, to help humanity navigate the uncertain decades ahead. The city's legacy, then, is a legacy of stewardship. It is a legacy of a place that has shaped the world, but also carries a responsibility to help guide it. In its hands lies the ability to strengthen economies, support transitions, and nurture resilience. Finance is not separate from society. It is one of the tools through which societies survive and prosper. The city's legacy is a reminder that power must be used with wisdom, that influence must serve more than profit alone. As the future unfolds, the city will face tests that challenge everything it has built. The rise of artificial intelligence will redefine markets. Digital currencies will question the foundations of banking. Climate risks will force new strategies. Political shifts will reshape alliances. Crises will emerge unexpectedly. And through it all, the city will adapt, not because it is invincible, but because adaptation is its nature. In this final moment of our journey, the city stands not as a symbol of perfection, but as a symbol of possibility. It shows that human systems can evolve, learn, and endure. It shows that trust can be built across borders. It shows that ambition, when paired with responsibility, can create lasting prosperity. It shows that even in a world defined by uncertainty, some structures can remain stable enough to anchor progress. The legacy of the city is a legacy of humanity's attempt to bring order to complexity, to build connection from chaos, to create stability in a world of constant change. It is the story of how we learn to trust one another through systems larger than ourselves. It is the story of how we built the mechanisms that sustain modern civilization. As we close this chapter of the cinematic London Finance Chronicles, the city continues to write its own story. Day by day, trade by trade, idea by idea. The world watches, often without realizing it. And the city moves forward, carrying centuries of experience into a future that will test every assumption. The city's legacy is not finished. It is only beginning. Thank you for joining this journey through the unseen forces that shape our world. London's story continues, and so does the story of global finance, power, and the human spirit that drives it.